I think I actually have pretty strong feelings about how teachers should study and understand anatomy. And what I think is very important is that teachers know how the body works. They know functional anatomy. That said, for me personally, I don't care if someone knows the names of muscles or not. I don't. In fact, if you really look at old ancient yoga, no one talked about muscle insertion points. No one talked about bony protuberances. No one palpated their hip points or the sacrum. So I feel like when I teach anatomy, I actually don't talk that much about names of bones, names of ligaments, or names of muscles. What I want people to look at is functional movements and knowing how to see a body and knowing what to do with the body. And I think that comes much more from one's own practice. And it comes much more from looking at bodies and seeing misalignments and knowing how to verbally describe how to create greater integrity in the body. In my teacher training program that I teach in the United States and I'll be teaching in Japan, when I taught it in San Francisco, the person who taught the anatomy with me is a surgeon, is a shoulder orthopedist. And he refused to use all the muscle names. He said, I'm a surgeon, I need to know muscle names. You're a yoga teacher, you need to know how it works. So don't get bogged down in origin points and insertion points, and don't just study the names of all the scapular muscles. Instead, know how the scapula works. Learn to see a student's body. Learn to develop exquisite alignments and feel why and how alignment is so important. So then when you work with your student, you don't have to say, engage your gluteus medius and your tensor fascia lata. Instead, you come over and say, move this here. Engage that. Because the truth is, most of our students don't know anatomy. And so if we're using very difficult technical anatomical terms and we're speaking them to students that don't know those terms, they get really frustrated. And to me, that's not effective communication, right? It wouldn't be effective for me to speak someone else's language. All anatomy is really Latin, or at least as I know anatomy, is basically Latin names. None of my students speak Latin. And so I want to give the common functional names and show the common functional alignment patterns without saying, this is the rectus femoris, this is the rectus abdominis. Now, you can learn all of those muscle names and groups, and that's beneficial for a long time study. But when I look around the room, the reason that I can give good instructions isn't because I know the anatomical names of the muscles of the body. It's because I know alignment. So I see it, and I want to give a common term. Yeah.